In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always. Welcome to another edition of the Reality's Temple on Earth. Of course, I am the host or the gatekeeper of this internet ministry. On YouTube, I am known as the Mighty Angel Snub Number 7. Your brother, and hopefully your friend, Talik Ibn'rad. I hope you enjoy the video that follows this introduction. Again, peace forever and always, and respect you. Peace forever and always. This is your brother, the Angel Snub Number 7, Talik Ibn'rad, and welcome once again to another, hopefully, exciting edition of the Reality's Temple on Earth. I was born in the 1960s. A few months after I was born, the President of the United States, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, was assassinated. About 2 years later, I was probably 2 years old, or 3, one of our great leaders, Malcolm X, was assassinated. And then 3 years later, Martin Luther King. I was born during a period of civil rights struggle in America. Black people were standing up for their rights, and for the first time in our history, learning about their blackness on such a national level. All over the country, there was brother and sister talk. There was something called Black Pride. But within Black Pride, there were those who still carried a grave slave mentality. They still considered themselves colored people. They still considered themselves Negro. And the only reason why they didn't like black was because black was made to look as being an inferior. When I was growing up, I was darker than a lot of my family members and classmates. But what hurt so bad was the taunts and the mockery of my being dark, not from strangers, of which were black people, because I didn't really see white people until I got some age on me. It was a long time before I seen Caucasian people. It was black people who was making mockery that I was dark. I was called coal baby, tar baby, black Yankee, anything, black devil. Some of y'all might call me a black devil today. Y'all something else. But, yeah. So, for me, I had to either learn how to love myself as being a dark black man, or attempt to do what I've seen others do, is try to make myself as Caucasian looking as possible. I am so happy that I had relatives in the Nation of Islam who gave me books that taught me how to love my black self. So it never got got that far where I had to experiment with trying to find a more Caucasian look, or behave like a Caucasian, act like a Caucasian. And those who made mockery of me, since I began to learn what my blackness was, I learned how to defend that dark skin. I learned how to defend the big nose and the thick lips. And made those who were also dark, or maybe a lighter skinned black, with big nose, thick lips, and kinky hair. Made them look silly because you're trying to be something that you're not. That's the subject of this video. Whereas I learned that I was a black man that come from a strong people. And I learned how to embrace my darkness. There are those back then and there are those now that hate their darkness. More and more, especially our celebrities, those blacks that can influence our babies. They are wearing their hair more straight. Even if it's a weave, it's to make themselves look more Caucasian. They're putting more of this makeup on their faces to look more Caucasian. They're bleaching their skin. They make sure they get many as possible pictures to get taken with Caucasian people so they can say, look, I got Caucasian friends. When you talk about slavery or anything of the past, they do like this. They don't want to hear you because they don't want to think about and be reminded that they came from a people who were enslaved. I'm done with that. I'm better now. Can't you see how close I am to my master? When I see entertainers like Beyonce and Jay-Z and all those, they are filled with this material wealth and greed. They think the more successful they are, the more material things they get, they think that for some reason these Caucasians are going to accept them as one of their own. But when these blacks get in trouble, who do they call on for help? Who do they call on to cry on their shoulder? Then they come back to their people. We should start to begin to reject people like that. Do you understand? Why should you be ashamed that you are children of slaves? That's true. And before you Caucasians begin to smile and grin and think that your beginnings is so great. Not too long ago, your ancestors came out of a cave, walking on all fours, didn't know how to take a bath. Look it up, your own history. It's not a secret. So don't try to think or believe that you're greater. And that's another thing. Y'all Negroes who trying to be Caucasian. If you want to be part of them, then get on your all fours and declare that the dog is your best friend. Some of y'all already eating raw meat. You're wearing animal fur. You want to be like them. That's where they come from. They just came out of a cave. A little less than or a little more than 6,000 years ago. None of us can brag about our humble beginnings. And all of us came from a sperm and egg. Have y'all seen that sperm and egg? Well, maybe in some porno flicks, some of y'all off into that. That's where you began. So none of us should try to be bragging about, I'm so great and I'm this and that. Look where you come from. Check out any porno movie. Or people in your next door neighbor. Don't do that. Don't people your next door neighbor when it ain't that. Why are you shamed, black man? Why are you shamed, black woman? To be a children from a slave. You think like that's so bad. I embrace it because even though my people were enslaved for over 300 years, it did not break us. We're having problems. We still have a slave mentality. But we made it. We endured that. For 300 years. Not 30 days. Not 30 years. For 300 years. They put slavery on us. And the only thing we did was duck and jab like a brilliant boxer. We knew how to be flexible and deal with the oppression.